Welcome back to TYT Sports. I hope you're having a great day. We have a plethora of stories to get to. Francis Maxwell, Jayar Jackson, an upgrade from Jason Rubin. I'm just going to say it.
Damn.
It's an upgrade. I'm sure Jason's watching at some point for streaming, and he'll be typing away really quick with his New York fingers, sending some abuse. He adopted like the New York mentality so quick again when we went back. Like we introed a clip yesterday, and I said something like a joke, and he came back like this. The camera was just on him, and he's like this. I was like thinking, what's going on with this guy?
He probably went to like a Knicks game or something.
Yeah, he did. Just pessimism is just flowing through his veins.
Comes back.
All right, so if you can see on the sidebars, we have some nicely set up. We've got to talk some Jared Goff to start things off. So if you would have seen yesterday, and I believe 2 days ago, it was trending on Twitter that Jared Goff is coming back. Well, not coming back. He's coming in.
Hey,
he's going to be allowed
all
in a way
season I've
to
been
play.
talking about how Tom Brady's back. Tom Brady's back. Guess who's back? Jared Goff. As everyone knows, I'm a helpless Rams fan.
Bandwagoner.
This would be the time to bandwagon. There's nothing to jump onto. But no, Jared Goff, as we all know, taken overall by the Rams, top pick. Quarterbacks are always seen as the guy who's going to come in and save the day. So, of course, as we've been seeing, even in some of the Rams' wins, the 9-6, the 6-3s.
Just phenomenal games.
Yeah, I mean, you would think if your defense, and this is against the Seahawks, in the first game, 6-3, and then the Jets, we're not going to brag about that 9-6 win, but the defense is doing its job, and then so to need the offense to come in and do something, is this the case? Everyone thinks it happens with the quarterback. I don't tend to think that way. Yeah, but let's see.
Well, it poses an interesting thought. I mean, it's going to attract, I would say, the fan base to see if they can put something together offensively. But we have a couple of quotes that I want to get to first, just discussing the fact that he's coming back. So this is the Rams head coach, Jeff Fisher. I don't want to say it's a new era, it's a new start, but in a lot of ways it is. Jared Goff's going to be under center this week at home against a really good defensive team in the Miami Dolphins. So big challenge ahead. He continued. We're committed to this. We didn't do what we did this offseason and trade for Jared to just spot play him over the next 5 or 6 weeks, even though there's people out there saying, well, you're doing it now because your playoff chances aren't real good. Well, no, our playoff chances are still fine. We're doing this for 2 reasons. 1, we feel like this is the best decision. 2, he has a chance to help us win football games.
Maybe this is a little bit, this is in the middle of the quote, but people are talking about the Rams' playoff chances. Every time they mention it, I kind of shrug. It's like, okay, fine, yes, sure. Like, mathematically, the playoff chances are still alive. But if this team makes the playoffs, them getting to the playoffs would be one of those teams that as soon as you see them play in that first week, you go, this could have gone to a deserving team. Yeah. Give it to a more losing team that had a chance to maybe score a touchdown, maybe a field goal. But no, that was just Miller quotes. That was just a side note. But the thought of bringing in the new quarterback that he said we trade up for, it makes some level of sense. But as we've known the entire season, they've been talking about how the kid isn't ready, the kid isn't ready, the kid isn't ready. And maybe he's ready now, but that's not what I heard. In any of the quotes, I listened to more of what Jeff Fisher had to say, and it was, we've been slowly getting them going. This isn't just a snap decision just because of what has been happening. They won last week, but this isn't just a snap decision. It's been a slow-burning process. Let's get him involved. Is he ready? I haven't heard that yet, so I'm still believing his original statement of the kid is not ready. Yeah,
and there's only one way to really find out, and I guess if this is the problem we have, right? So if your playoff chances are taking a massive hit and there's mathematically very slim chance that you're going to get it, I understand this because now you're going to use these games as a way to try and train him for next season and try to push forward the idea that you have this quarterback that you can use. The playoff chances, they're not great, but they're not completely out of the running. So it does pose an interesting question. But I wanted to ask you, for me, when you look at a new team that comes in, not a new team, but coming back to Los Angeles, at the start of the season, if you were to tell Rams fans, we'll give you the playoffs right now, first round, do you think they would take that as a success this year already?
And like losing the first round?
Yeah, but losing just to get to the playoffs in general. You think so?
Absolutely.
Well, I agree, and that's why I think that to make the argument that there's a good chance that they would make the playoffs as a reason not to play him, I don't buy it as much because I think that they are, if they do happen to play Jared Goff and make it to the playoffs, I think you're shooting above your expectations. So I think it might be a win-win. If you play him and things go south or even further south than what we've seen, then I don't think you're in as much of a bad situation as what you could be with a quarterback who you recruited with the idea that he's going to be your starting quarterback. That's why you would go and draft him first pick. But I think that he's useless if you don't give him any sort of playing time. There is, in any sport, there is no substitute for playing time. You can practice on the field, you can do what you want to do, coming up from college especially, but look how much Ezekiel Elliott's thriving, being given the ability to go forth and do it. And yes, he's in a good team. He's in a great offensive line that's blocking for him. But I still think that you've got to give someone the opportunity to see how they handle these situations.
And that's the key. So I wish I had actually looked. I had forgotten the details of the trade, but I know they got rid of some defensive guys. And I don't know if it was lost to free agency or not, but which all aspects, because the team had a few shuffles. But you wonder if he have to surround a young quarterback with people that can help him. You mentioned Ezekiel Elliott, the running back for the Cowboys. He's surrounded by guys who directly help his success.
Yeah.
If you have a great offensive line, which the Cowboys do, it generally helps the running back with holes. And not that they're all gaping holes, because he's still a good running back. I don't want to take any credit from him. But with a rookie quarterback that you had a problem with his readiness at the beginning when you brought him in, there needs to be pieces around him that help him.
Yeah.
Now he's got Todd Gurley. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
He came in last year after a horrible injury in college and looked great. But he's not looking great this year.
Yep.
It's not because Todd Gurley forgot how to play football. There's other things that are not working to create those spaces for him. If Todd Gurley was running in Dallas, he'd be running all over the place.
Yeah, I see what the staff is thinking, and they're trying to get him playing time. I think that it's going to be a hard situation for Jared Goff no matter what, because if he comes in, things change, yeah, he's going to get a lot of the plaudits, but if things don't work out, which it's not just the quarterback that, as we're seeing, is a problem offensively. It's open looks. They're not finding the receivers well. They're not running the ball as well as they should. So I think that he's coming in, and a lot of people will put the expectancy, as they do on quarterbacks, solve it. Go ahead. You might not have the level of experience we expect, but we saw your talent in college. Solve this problem.
Maybe we can cross this over, because ask you a question, because the higher level of athletics I did was less of a team-oriented sport. I was a track guy up through college. And I played the other team sports, but that stopped after high school. You played further than that, right? So I'm worried a little bit of the success. Say Jared Goff has a good game, not a great game, and they win. They beat the Dolphins, who Jeff Fisher mentioned has a pretty good defense. And then this is the problem. I'm a little worried about this. After a win, where it looks different than the 9-6s and the 6-3s and the 10-12s, then maybe they'll go, oh, it's over, we got him, oh, the franchise is here. And then I don't know if it's going to go to the heads of these guys, and then they step out and forget that the next week's team is going to go, we know how to stop this rookie.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be a devastating issue for the rest of the season.
I think
Does that happen? Is it easy for a team to go, oh, it's over, we got it?
And we talk about this quite a lot. Jason and I go back and forth. Like, I think basketball is the easiest sport, and I use the term easy kind of loosely here, but where you can have one player directly influence the outcome of the game and really shape the way things go, because there's only 5 players on the court at the same time. Football is a unique sport as well, because a quarterback has such a huge influence on the game. So yeah, he has the ability to influence the game one way or another. And my favorite sport, as for soccer, there's 11 guys in the park. One player can have such a major influence, but you have to have all these moving pieces going at the same time, the way that the football goes as well, because he can have a great game. Defensively, they can be dire, and they can lose, and whether or not people will look into those stats, fans, they'll see the score and they'll judge it on that. They won't look into whether or not his passing yardage, whether or not he was successful, his interceptions. These are all things that rational, like-minded people would look into, but we know football fans, as well as any fans, don't look into that. But I wanted to get to what Jared Goff had to actually say on this matter. He had this via an interview talking about the situation ahead.
And see during the games and learn from a lot of the things Case did, good and bad. And, it's been a long process, I guess. Trying to pick up everything and get ready for it. And I think I have, and I think I've been ready for a little while and feel good and feel.
Goff, Super Bowl MVP.
All right, we like the optimism.